Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa Pinsker of alyssapinsker.com, also known as girlgoneglobalcommunications.com, and I help writers and businesses get published in top tier magazines so they can live their dream lives as travel writers and published authors. And I'm recording today from beautiful sunny Boulder, Colorado, and as you can see, I use natural lighting and it was snowing, and it just stopped snowing. Um, so it's super sunny. So today we're going to talk about the 4 steps to writing as alchemy, a topic I'm obsessed with. And I chose this topic because I know so many of my students want to get published and it's scary. And my first publishing experience took me a year. And now I am named one of the top 15 travel writers in the world by Roy Stevenson. I'm an author of 3 books, one of which is here. If any of you are familiar with the Best 6 Words, the Best Advice in 6 Words project by Larry Smith, whose wife Piper Kerman was made famous by Orange is the New Black, which coincidentally, that has a lot to do with my topic today, which is turning the worst thing that ever happened to you into the best thing, otherwise known as alchemy. So I recently broke my toe. You don't have to see the little cast. And I was doing a fitness routine, and the instructor said, this can be the best thing that ever happened to you because it can strengthen every other part of your body. And I learned this naturally through starting out in memoir. So I'm going to be recording these vlogs here in this Facebook group only in my Share Your Story with the World Facebook group. And then I want you to go to alyssapinsker.com/products. You can sign up for the free YPR Matters book and join my mailing list, which I will link below. In the mailing list, you get that free copy of that book. And I'm also working on potentially making access to my How to Travel the World for Free, 10 Ways to Travel the World for Free book, making that free because I feel like so many people would benefit from it. And I love that book. So I also had no idea how to get published. I was an inner city school teacher, very tough, very draining job. I started out in Japan, which was fun, and I would just blog about my experiences, but I was shy and I would only share that with a few people. And those few people were like, this is amazing. Like, I really feel like I'm right there with you. So there was something special about me sharing that benefited them. And I want to help you benefit yourself by getting published. And I want you to understand why it's so important to be published by, again, downloading your free copy of YPR Matters or listening here to the kind of spiritual side of all this, the alchemy of writing. So it's almost Valentine's Day, and I want you to fall in love even harder with your life. And we are obsessed at Girl Gone Global with you sharing your story with the world. And that means if a tree falls in a forest, I always say, okay, if a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound, right? I was a philosophy undergrad, so I made this up. If you have a story in your heart, in your head, in your journal, is it ever really written? Because if it doesn't have an audience, is it a story if it's not told? And I say no. And a lot of us have stories written in our hearts, heads, journals, and one day. And I say you cannot call yourself a writer or help society through writing if you don't share that story with the world. So here are my 4 steps, okay, to the alchemy. And maybe once you realize, the sun is so funny. Once you realize that it is alchemy, you can be inspired because it benefits you, it benefits the audience, and it benefits society as a whole. So step one, and this is from my newsletter, which is going out today. And if you want to access that newsletter, sign up in the link below, the MailChimp link. So step one, you finally write your story and you just throw it on the page. I always tell everyone, just throw it on the page, get it out, get it out. And then you shape it like clay and you start to shape it. And you give it a beginning, a middle, and an end. And right before the end is a shift, a crucial shift, just a change. That's all. Nothing big, just a change. Maybe you realize something or learn something, or completely changed. That's if you, meaning you're the hero of the story. But you give it a pretty little bow to wrap it all up. And that bow doesn't exist in real life all the time. But when you write your story and you give it a bow, it makes sense. There is a moral, a reason, a shift. This is the craft part of writing. And there are tons of amazing craft teachers. Anne Lamott is one of my favorites. She's so cool with the white dreadlocks. And Natalie Goldberg are two icons. But I'm not a craft teacher. I'm a publicity coach. I want you to get published. Get it out. This is healing, though, the writing part, and it's worth the hours of digging up maybe a painful wound. And this is why I say the story that makes you cry or that your family hates is probably the story you should choose to tell. That's the story that's painful. So my new friend, Tiffanie Drayton, decided to, and I'll link below in the MailChimp, you can see her book and all that, and decided to share her story about her painful breakup and exodus to Tobago by pitching to my members only Facebook group of around 13,000, top tier writers and editors, and a New York Times editor there loved the story and published it on the back cover of the Sunday New York Times Book Review. And it was that easy. Tiffany's a great writer, but she also had a great story to tell. And you can be an absolute beginner and get published like this. I've seen it, and I talk about it later. Tiffany's story then was called, I have to remember the title of the essay, but Black American Refugee. Okay. And from that New York Times Book Review, and this is not like plotting, but she wrote from her heart, but it served as an advertisement for her book. And editors contacted her, agents and editors contacted her from Penguin Random House and bought her book for $250,000. And I like to talk about money here because money is part of wealth and abundance and love and self-love. And Tiffany said this about my group. Thanks to Alyssa's exclusive pitching group for top tier writers and editors, I placed a New York Times essay on the back cover of the book review section by posting my article, Black American Refugee, where a New York Times editor asked to see it. She said, I'll take a look. After she published it, the essay generated buzz, and I sold my book to Viking Penguin Random House for high six figures, allowing me to retire in my beloved Trinidad. That is proof the group works. Thank you, Alyssa, for putting it together. And then we became friends after that because she was like very happy and thankful to me. And we also shared the same original craft mentor. But so I'm so excited for Tiffany. And what's so cool about her journey is that it's ongoing. She's back in New York and she's writing a second book. And that book is being fueled by the negative experience. Even though she's had all this amazing stuff, she's having right now a negative experience of being stuck in New York due to this ongoing custody battle, probably because of the buzz. But she's won, and we'll talk about later why she's definitely on top right now. So if you want to join this private group, I'm just doing a trial and I'm offering it here. It's at alyssapinsker.com/coaching/published club. It's called the Published Club. And it's just a limited time offer. So step 2, share your story with an audience. That can be on stage at the Moth like I used to do, or comedy shows like I used to do, or a TED Talk, which people love and I love listening, or publishing it in a top tier magazine, or publishing your book finally. And I help you with that. Check out my Pitch to Publish program, alyssapinsker.com/coaching pitch to publish writing coaching. I'll share that link. Step 3, the audience receives your story. They listen, and they listen well. And I remember sharing about India with an audience in the hundreds at the Moth Story Slam. I was terrified, and when I peeked for a moment, I saw the expression on the faces of the audience, and they looked like they were in love. And because this is video, I can maybe like just, just transport it, just dreamy smiles, and I just was like, me? Like what? And the reason is because we love stories. My 3-year-old nephew demands 10 stories a day. If you took a selfie watching your favorite show, you'd probably look similarly. And all good writers are voracious readers. So you know how much you love listening to a good story. And you feel seen and heard. The audience feels seen and heard. And you learn something new. I learned something new about Mardi Gras from my star student John this week, who published yet again in a new magazine, Paste Magazine. And I'm going to give you a free tip about that. He's so successful mostly because he follows step by step my method. He's also meticulous, and he's completely egoless in researching publications and using my connections and tools to find the right person and really studying how to write the story for that publication. He's got it down. And my free tip, that how he found this particular editor at Paste Magazine, because I thought they had shut down. I used to write for Paste for their travel section. He used Rocket Reach, rocketreach.com. It's free. It might be .co, Rocket Reach. It's free and it's amazing. You can really find editors. But, I think I checked myself and it was wrong. So it's not always 100%, but it's a good lead. And definitely only email their professional address. So congratulations, John Sizemore, on your latest publication in Paste Magazine. He's been published in Matador. He was never published before, ever. He was a pretty good, accomplished photographer, but not a writer. And now he is. He's a pro. So his program is the one-on-one How to Be a Travel Writer program, my signature program. AlyssaPinsker.com/coaching, How to Be a Travel Writer. Okay, the last step. You are in turn seen and heard. This is the sound part of the tree falling. This is where the story gets read and heard and seen, and you may even get feedback like a note from my editor or a reader from my last article about Tulsa. I loved Tulsa. It was so cool. And he said, great job. This really does well describing Tulsa. It makes me want to go there. Especially commendable is how you used other voices, such as your New York friend, to make a point that is more compelling coming from Tulsaites than from you. You got it, girl. That was from my editor, Max. And I met him at IMM, which is on travmedia.com. That's how to get invited. It's invite only, but join it and hopefully you'll get an invite. The way to get invited is to get clips. What's a clip? Getting published in these magazines. Once you get these clips, then you can join this other exclusive list that I teach in the How to Get on the List course. This list changed my life. Once I got on the list, people pitch me. Gosh, I have so much. This is covering a lot of topics, but that's the 4 steps to alchemy. Voila. And as I said, Tiffanie is now writing a second book and still getting in essence Good Morning America. And this is all PR. She's getting this naturally from being just a good writer. And that's what PR should be. It's earned media. PR is earned media. But if you hack it, I can teach you the step by step to how to get top tier publicity like that. So this is my second vlog, and you can only view it in my free Facebook group, Share Your Story with the World. And thank you so much. And you can post your questions below. And we are ending at the 15 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the sunshine in beautiful sunny Colorado. And I am here. These are my notes. And I am here with my broken toe. And the other thing is that you can also take a few days off. That's totally fine too. You don't always have to turn something into the best thing that ever happened to you, but it happens a lot once you just start, and naturally you'll see So that is the 4-step process to alchemy. And I hope you learned a lot about PR and earned media and publishing and all that versus like the last video, which was about influencing and blogging and how it's different versus advertising. So have a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you soon.